Hey there guys, welcome back to Black Raven Survival. On this video, I'm going to be talking about what I actually had in my pack. I was able to get down to about a 12-pound base weight this time. It's a first for me. Most of the time I'm a little over 14, 15 pounds. So this trip I was actually able to shave quite a bit. Now, first of all, this is summertime. There are not a lot of extras that you need because your body can handle most things. It's not overly cold, and if it's overly hot, you just stop, cool down, or hop in some water if you have access. But I want to preface this video in saying, first of all, it's probably going to be a bit long because I do want to make sure that I get accurate weights on everything, and I want to make sure that everyone gets to see those weights, at least on my scale. The second thing, everyone is going to be different. Everyone's going to pack differently. Everyone is going to need or require or want something different out of their camping / hiking experience. Not everyone is going to be built the same way. Not everyone is going to want the same things on a hiking or camping trip. So what you're going to do is you're going to pack to your desires or your fears. The third thing I want to preface this video with is everyone packs to their fears. And what I mean by that is that if you are scared of getting cold, you're going to pack extra clothes or extra insulation. If you're fearful of running out of water, you're probably going to pack extra water, or you're going to pack extra bottles. The long and short of this is that I think a lot of people do a really excellent job of spreading all their gear out on a table, taking a look at it and going, I think I've got everything I need. I don't think that I could cut anything else from this pack. And I do believe that that's where most people make their mistakes. The biggest problem that most people have is that when they get home, they're just so tired, so exhausted. It's been a great trip. It was super duper fun. Got a lot of miles in and all that kind of stuff. And we had just this amazing time. And they forget to take their stuff, lay it all out on the table again and go, what did I not use? Okay? And I'm totally guilty of this because you're not as enthused about looking at gear that you've just been staring at all weekend, and you're exhausted from the long drive and the extra miles you managed to put in and all that, and you just don't take the time to look at all your gear and go, I don't need that, or I didn't use that, or this could be replaced with something lighter or whatever. So you've got to come back after the trip, give yourself a day, whatever, you come back on Sunday, lay it all out on Monday. Most of the time you'll probably have some of your stuff out drying anyway. Maybe it was a wet weekend or whatever, but you don't want to let that opportunity go by to go, didn't need that, didn't use that, not going to use that again, blah, 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 blah. Because I do believe the evaluation process post-hike is probably more important than pre-hike, because you'll find out what you need while you're out there. And you'll find that most of the stuff that you were fearful of, no need to fear it anyway. Maybe you packed in too much food. Man, that's the third trip I took, and I packed a pound or so extra of food that I didn't need. Or I didn't even throw on those sleep pants that night, and this is the second or third time. I never even wore them, so why am I packing them with me? You need to start evaluating your gear like that and going, don't need that, didn't use that, and I need to get it out of my pack because it is just dead weight, plain and simple. So. Alright guys, this is a overview of everything that I took with me on my trip. This is, I think, a fairly standard summer load. I tried to go pretty minimalistic on this trip. Again, it's summertime. It was the beginning of June when this video is recorded, so there's a lot of things that you may find that you don't actually need in your pack. So I'm just going to, I didn't take this pot, and obviously I didn't take the scales, okay? But everything else from here and around, all of this I took. Again, I'm going to show you the weight, but I also found that I probably didn't need a few of these items because, again, I didn't use them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take each item, tell you what it is. I'm going to put it in that pot and weigh it on that food scale. You can keep track of the weights if you want. If I have the time, I'll try and put each of the weights up on the screen or whatever. And then I'm going to take my entire load, I'm going to put it in the pack, and then I'm going to weigh it with the hanging scale there. And then I'm going to split the difference between that food scale and that scale. The food scale, I think, weighs everything a bit heavy. This one seems to weigh it right around, it rounds either up or down to the nearest tenth of a gram or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I'm just going to split the difference and that'll be my base weight. Okay, first of all, this is my pack. This is the Gossamer Gear G4, and I also have the hip belts that I believe are like 3/4 of an ounce each. And I also got their fanny pack, but I cut the ends off and sewed a loop on there, and I basically hang it off the front of the pack. So let's go ahead and turn the scale on. All right. This is a frameless pack. It has no internal frame at all. $636 grams. So keep that in mind. All right, next up, this is the Hammock Gear Phoenix 40 degree. Just bought this bad boy, and it is an amazing underquilt. I put 2 ounces of overstuff in this thing. And this thing comes out to be 94 grams. All right. This is Dutch's pack cover. It comes out to 54 grams. I took this camera with exactly this lens, 1 battery inside, and 1 SD card inside. 397 grams. Smart water bottle with 1 liter of water inside. Should come out to 2.2 pounds. About 1,000 grams according to this scale. I took a Sawyer water filter. None of the accessories, just the filter only. A total of 55 grams according to the scale. 1 platypus water bottle. 44 grams according to the scale. 1 Victorinox knife. Should be around 90 grams. 90 grams on the nose, at least according to that scale. This is my flag from Devil Woman Flags, a completely useless and unnecessary item, so 36 grams. This is my hammock, suspension, bug net, and of course this mesh bag. It's not even a good one. It's a pretty large, heavy bag, but the suspension that I have in here is, I think they're 3-foot tree straps with 5-foot leaders. So this is the speed hook setup. The whole thing, including the bag, comes out to 492 grams. I'm just curious. That comes out to 17.35 ounces. By the way, the hammock itself is a Dutchware Gear Poly D 1.2 material. And the bug net is the Sheltowee bug net, which is, I believe, right around 5 ounces or so. This is my DIY tarp. I have 10 titanium stakes in there, an S-beaner to kind of keep it all together. I have stingers here. This is the Sil Argon, made out of 0.90 weight material. With the silicone, I believe it comes out to be like 1.1. So, and I use Lash It on this suspension. This comes out to be 677 grams, 23.85 ounces, or 1.7 pounds. Just for those that were wondering. Okay, this is one of Dutch's folding sit pads. $5 on his website. I gotta be honest, I didn't even use it on this trip because I was using that reflective koozie here. I just pulled it out of the pack and used it. So that one actually weighs more, but it's got multifunction. This thing should be right around 18 grams, and it is. So a reflective koozie. I don't usually cook in my pot. I cook inside of a bag, thanks to a sweet little tip from some people we went hiking with about 6 months ago. You just slide your bag down in there. This thing should weigh about 45 grams or so. And dead nuts on 45. That's another good thing to do, is to know your gear. Now this is my entire toiletries and med kit. This is my med kit. Okay. Anything else that you're going to encounter out there in the forest, you're probably going to need a hospital or an ambulance. If you can't take care of it with a Band-Aid and some medicine, you're not going to be able to carry for every contingency. One thing of bug spray, didn't even use it on this trip. I even carry a nice, decent sized toothbrush that just folds inside of itself. A to-go thing of toothpaste, and a bottle of Doc Bronner's. I've carried it 5 trips and I've never used it. I used it maybe a year ago, but that was it. And 6 baby wipes. That's it. That's enough to get me through at least 2 poops. Right around 2 poops. And yes, I say poop. These are all plastic bags, nothing special. Let me take it all out. I talked too long and the scale went off. Everything. 212 grams. This right here is my pack towel. I believe this is the medium size. And I have my Toaks titanium spoon inside to keep the tines from snagging anything in my pack. Again, the towel, I rarely ever use it. 62 total grams for a spoon and my pack towel. This is my cook pot set. I got a top koozie, a bottom koozie under here. I've got the Toaks titanium pot with the bail. I also have a Venom stove from Zelf Stoves, a 5 or 6 ounce bottle of alcohol in there right now, and an aluminum foil windscreen that I made myself, and this rubber band. And I think there's a lighter in there as well. So that's my entire cook set. And that weighs in at 327 total grams. This is a king sling. It's basically a butthole hammock. This is what I use to go to the bathroom. It's awesome. I don't usually do much constitutionals in the woods, but it's there just in case of need because I hate leaning up against trees. I think it's about 3 ounces or so. It's 96 grams with the whoopee hooks, and just to verify, it is 3.4 grams or 3.4 ounces. So there you go. This right here is just a bag of extra Guyline. It's a 25-foot hank of Lash It, my water drip t-shirt strips, my I think I've got a couple of pieces of extra shock cord in case I need to extend a Guyline or something like that. It's basically just a small little extra rope bag in some Dutch Argon 90. A little bag I made. And that comes out to a total of 90 grams. I believe there's a few extra S-beaners and stuff in there too. Okay. Clothing. I took this balaclava. But I can also use it as like a headband or a bandana. You can just kind of pull it inside out on top of your head and it works for that. But that's what I took. These are the sleep pants that I took. Didn't even put them on. And this is the sleep shirt I at least got out of my stinky shirt. These are Polypro, BCG, cheap stuff I got from Academy Sports. But all this stuff is pretty awesome. If you need to change your clothes, at least you got it. All of that extra clothing comes in at 471 grams. That is a lot. This stuff sack for my extra clothes and my toiletries and my first aid kit, everything extra kind of goes in here. This is a dry bag. It's just a cheap Walmart one. I'm going to swap it out for some Sil Argon that I have extra from Dutch. That bag all by itself weighs 69 grams. Now this right here is a little light. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got 3 LED diodes in it. It literally plugs directly into a USB, and I use this as a camp light now. It doesn't weigh hardly anything. I just got it in this battery compartment just to kind of protect it a little bit. Found it on Amazon. If anyone's interested, this thing is bright as heck. It makes an excellent camp light, and also if you hang it away from you, it keeps the bugs away. That whole thing with the rubber band comes in at 71 grams. This is my battery pack. This will recharge my phone. It uses a cable that will recharge the camera. This is the dry bag that I'm using. Again, I'm going to swap it out this trip. I'll also take my phone with me. So I'll just weigh all of this. This is a 15,000 milliamp hour battery pack. I like to make sure I stay charged out there. It's my fear to be disconnected. So 605 total grams for an iPhone 5C, a 15,000 milliamp Anchor battery pack. I believe it's the Astro E5, and the iPhone charging cable and the battery pack cable. This is the Gossamer Gear Sit Light Pad. This is, I believe, 1/4 of the total 1/4-inch pad. So this original pad has been cut down 4 times. So this is 1/4 of the total pad. I use it as a ground cloth to set stuff down on, extra insulation, pack frame. It has a lot of uses. It's very lightweight. It comes in at 137 total grams. This is my Helinox chair. This is my luxury item. It's actually sitting right over here. I don't have it packed up, but I know that for a fact that it weighs just at 2 pounds when put up in its stuff sack. So I'm just going to include that in the final weight whenever I get done weighing everything. Okay, this is everything all packed up. And like I said, because the chair is over there and I don't feel like dealing with it, I know it's about 2 pounds. I'm not lying about that. You can check anything online you want to. But anyway, it's all loosely packed. It's not very pretty at the moment, but all we're trying to do is get a weight on everything that I took. And then we'll find out exactly what my total base weight was. So let's grab this scale over here. Just so y'all know, this is the, I don't really know what it is, but it's got a max of 50 kilograms and it's plus or minus 10 grams. I have no idea. It's basically just a suitcase scale. turn this thing on. It should tear out. All right, I'm gonna stand on top of this chair. And the total base weight is 11.88 pounds. So with a base weight of 11.88 pounds, a liter of water is going to cost you 2.2 pounds. So that was with a whole liter of water in the pack, and I had a bottle of fuel still in the cook pot. Now, if you add the chair in, like I said, 2 pounds, that would bring it up to 13.88. But if we're just doing base weight and I get rid of the water, we're right back to where we started again, with under 12 pounds. And that, like I said, that was with everything for a summer trip. Now, if I got rid of the chair, I would be even lighter than that. I would be at, 9.88 pounds. And that's my luxury item. So I am in a sub-ultralight category at this point, at least for summertime. Materials are getting lighter and lighter all the time. You just have to kind of go over your gear as to what you really need. There are a lot of things that people just like to do in the woods. And if you are planning to take some stuff out there and you're genuinely going to use it, then by all means take it. But I just don't think that most people realize how much extra stuff they carry and they just don't use. And I think a good rule of thumb, I know that this is pretty much the rule of thumb for a lot of people that are trying to go as ultralight as possible, is that if you don't use it, don't take it. Don't pack to your fears, because the likelihood of it happening are slim to none. Especially if you're going with a bunch of other people. There's always the chance that you can just share with other people. But if you do plan on going with yourself, I would highly suggest, taking some things to kind of protect yourself or take care of yourself while you're out there, especially if you're alone. But when you pack to your fears, you pack more than what you need. Know the place that you're going to. If you know you're going to be around water, like I did on this last trip to Red River Gorge, there's a ton of water out there. You quite honestly don't have to pack any more than about a half a liter at a time, because you're always going to find water. Kentucky is replete with sources of water, so it's not that big of a deal. If you do plan on going to a very arid area, if you're going to be in the desert or you're going to be in a place where there's been a drought, make sure you pack extra water. But don't pack to your fears. Pack to necessity. And check the weather forecast. Make sure that you know what it's going to be like out there. Do what you have to do to get through that trip. This is not survivalism when you're just going hiking. It's good practice to build endurance and all that kind of stuff, but you don't have to pack the kitchen sink. And as you can see, like, I didn't really take all that much, and some of the stuff I didn't even use. Some of the stuff I don't really need. Some of it is, in fact, luxury items, but if you can get rid of all the garbage that just sits in your pack and never gets used, you can afford to take a couple of luxury items like the Helionox chair. A lot of people try and process wood out there, so they're taking axes and big-ass knives and huge saws and all that kind of stuff. Completely unnecessary. Don't take that stuff. You're not going out there to build a shelter. Your shelter's on your back. You just don't need that kind of stuff. The poundage in water is your biggest expense. You're going to feel the most difference between a pack that only has a half a liter water in it and a pack that has a 3-liter reservoir full of water in it. I mean, each liter of water costs you 2.2 pounds each. So if you need 3 liters, please, by all means, take 3 liters. But if you don't, take what you need and scavenge along the way. I mean, that's what hiking's all about, right? So at any rate, I hope you guys found this video useful and informational. Didn't mean to ramble on, but pack theory and all that kind of stuff, it's a controversial topic for a lot of people, and everyone's got a different opinion on it. So nine times out of 10, you're just not going to need as much as you pack. So, pack what you need, not what you fear. At any rate, thanks again for shopping here at Black Raven Survival. I'm your host, Mark Puckett, and I will see you guys again on the next one.